welcome to studio. In today's video we will solve some of the problems of Codechef Lunchtime, and let's begin the first problem, which is sleep deprivation. And the statement is saying that a person is said to be sleep deprivative if he slept strictly less than 7 hours in a day, and Chef was only able to sleep X hours yesterday, and depending on the X hour we have to say that if Chef is sleep deprivative person or not. So basically you will just simply input X and compare it with 7. If it is less than 7, then yeah, Chef is sleep deprivated, otherwise is not. Okay, just simple compare it with 7. And the second problem is flip the card, and the problem statement is there are n cards on a table, out of which X cards are face up and the remaining cards are face down, and we have to do one operations. Okay, in one operation we can select any of the card and flip it. If it is flip upside, then we will flip it downwards, otherwise vice versa. And we have to define answer minimum number of operations we must perform so that the cards face in the same direction, that is either all cards are in face up direction or face down direction. And the input format is T, which is test case, and each test case consists of two integers n, total number of cards, and X is the number of cards that are X is the number of cards that are in face up position. Okay, and we have to output minimum number of cards we must swap so that all the cards are in same direction after our operations. And these are test cases, these are also small numbers. And let's say if there are 4 cards and 2 are face up and 2 are face down, if there are 4 cards, 2 are face up and 2 are face down, then we can either change these two first one's position or these two first one position, so the number is same, so our output will be 2. And if the input is n is 5 and X is 2, okay, which means total number of cards are 5, out of which 2 are face up and 3 are face down. 3 cards are face down. Then in this case either I can choose these 3 cards and position them in face up position. In this case we have to do 3 operations, otherwise we can also flip down these 2 cards. So we have to do 2 operations. In this case 2 is less than 3, so our answer will be 2. So our answer will be just minimum of n minus X and X, just these two. Which one is minimum? We will print that one. If you want to see code, you can see here. Yeah, very small code. We have to just output minimum of n minus X or X. Let's read the third problem, which is equalize A and B. And the problem statement is and the problem statement is saying that you are given two numbers A and B along with an integer X, which means we have given three integers A, B and X. In one operation we can either increment A with X and decrease B with decrease B by X, and in second operation we can either decrease A by X and increase B by X. Okay, which means in one operation you can either add X to A and subtract X to B, and vice versa in second operation. And we have to determine if we can make A and B equal after applying the operations any number of times, possibly 0. And the input format is T, total number of test cases, and 3 integers A, B, which are 2 numbers, and X, which has to be add or subtracted from these 2 numbers. And output format is will print yes if we can make both A and B equal after as number of operations, otherwise we will output no. and here the constraints are quite larger. If you do these operations, you will definitely get TLE. Okay, so what will you do? Let's see here. Yeah, we will compute the difference, which means absolute difference. If this is negative, diff will contains positive, which means absolute value. And I am creating a FL, which is a boolean flag variable, and checking if diff modulo 2 into x. Why I am multiplying this with 2? Let's say an example. Yeah, let's pick up the first case, 5, 7 and 1. Here a, b and x, 5, 7 and 1. So this is 5. Yeah, first we will find the absolute difference between these two. So the absolute difference is 2. So what can we do here? We can add 1 to 5, which means this will become 6, and subtract 1 from b, this will also become 6. This is equal, so our answer will be yes. So just we will check that we find the difference between absolute difference, this is 2, and if this is equals to this modulo 2 into x, which means 2 into 1. If difference modulo 2 is 2 into x is 0, will print this becomes true, will print yes, and if this becomes false, will print no. Let's pick up a no case. Take a equal to 11, b equals to, let's say, 5, and x equals to 2. Here diff is 11 minus 5, which is 6, and let's check if 6 modulo 2 into 2, which is 4. 6 modulo 4 is not equals to 0, so our answer will be no here. And we are multiplying x with 2 here, multiplying x with 2 because I am doing two operations with x here. First I am adding it with a and subtracting from b, and in second operation I am adding to b and subtracting from a. So that's why these are basically observation based problems. You can easily see the code here. This is the code. I am inputting these three values and creating a FL variable, boolean variable with false value inside it, and calculating the difference and checking if difference modulo 2 into x is 0. I am assigning true to FL, otherwise FL will remain false, and if FL is true, I am printing yes, otherwise no. Let's move to the next problem, which is a stick break. Okay, and here Safe has a stick of length L, and Safe wants to break the stick into k parts such that each part has a non-zero length, and let the length of the k parts be a1, a2 up to ak. And note that as it is given that the initial length of the stick is L, so after breaking it in k parts, the length will also remain same, which is equals to the initial length L. And it is given that ai is the positive integers for all I, and Safe wants to minimize the value from I equals to 1 up to k minus 1. This is summation. Safe wants to minimize all the sum of from absolute difference of next term and previous term, which means a2 minus a1, a3 minus a2, and sum all these absolute differences. And yeah, we have to output basically the minimum value. and these are the input formats: t, which is test case, and each case consists of two numbers: l, which is length of the string, and k, the number of parts we have to break the stick. And output the minimum value of next term and previous term from I equals to 1 to k minus 1. And here are the constraints. The constraints are also very large. If you will try to do a linear approach, you will end up in 10 to the power 9, which is k, and 10 to the power 4, 10 to the power 13, which will give you a TLE. Yeah, and this is the input 4, 3, and 2 and 2. Let's take n equals to 5. Let's take two cases: n equals to 5 and k equals to 3, and second one n equals to 5 and k equals to 5 both. And also take n equals to 5 and k equals to 4. So in this case, what can I do? First, to break stick in length of 2, 2, 4 and 1. These all sum of 5. These all sum of 5, and the difference between these two is 0, and these two is 1. So what is the value? The value becomes 1. And if n is 5 and I want to break a stick in 5 parts, all parts will be of same length. So 0, 0, 0 and 0, and after summing all these up, I will end up in 0. Minimum value is, this is the minimum value, and this is also the minimum value, 1, 0. And if n length is 5 and I have to break it in 4 parts. Okay, so what can I do? So let's pick up. Yeah, 1, 1, 1 and 2, and difference is 1, 0 and 0. So after summing all these up, the minimum value is also 1, and you can do it with all the cases, which means 3, 4, 5. You can also do it with k equals to 2 and k equals to 1. No, not 1, because this will remain same. If I do it with k equals to 2, and if it is given that k should be, yeah, it is given that minimum value of k is equals to 2, so k can't be 1. So I can do it with k equals to 2 up to n. So if I choose k equals to 2, I can break it into 3 and 2 of length, and the difference is 1. So 1 is the minimum value. So after observing these all, minimum value is 1, 1, 0 and 1. So here you have only two options. Minimum value can either be 1 or 0, depending on the situation. If it is 1 when L modulo k is 0, then it is 0, otherwise this will becomes 1, and this is the big of 1. Okay, you can also see the solution. Yeah, if you can see here, I am just doing only one check. Answer is equal to, I am checking n modulo k. If n modulo k is true, which means this will become 0, and 0 is false here, so our answer is 1, otherwise our answer is 0. And if you have any problem regarding this, you can basically replace this with 0 and this with 1 and place a double equals to, which means equality, and check it with 0. Okay, hope you understand this also. And the next problem is permutation. Yeah, permutation creation. And the problem statement is saying that JJ gives you a number n and challenges you to construct a permutation p of length n such that pi plus 1 minus pi, which means next term minus previous term, and the absolute difference is greater than equals to 2, which means that it can never be less than 2, and for all I equals to 1 to n minus 1. Okay, and can you complete JJ challenge? Yeah, if I can do, if I can create permutation which will satisfy this condition, which means the difference between next and previous term can never be less than 2, we will print that permutation, otherwise we will print minus 1. Here it is saying that, and we have to yeah, and the input from it is t test case, and we have given only one integer in each test case n, which is number of terms. Yeah, we have to output permutation p1, p2, p3 up to pn, denoting the permutation p which satisfy the condition, and the condition is this: difference between the next terms and previous term should be greater than equals to 2. And here are the constraints, also large constraint. Yeah, and these two cases. So how will we do that? Just simply if n is 2, what can I do? I can either print 1 2 and 2 1, and the difference is 1, so I can't print the permutation. If n is 3, I can either print 1 2 3, 1 3 2 and 2 1 3, and in these all cases 1 1 difference, 2 1 difference, 1 2. So this is the difference 1, so this is also not possible. And if n is 4, if n is less than 3, I can't print anyone. This, in this case we will print minus 1. Yeah, and if n is 4, we will simply print 3 1 4 and 2. 3 minus 1 2, 4 and 1 difference 3, and 4 and 2 difference 2. Okay, and afterwards we will just check if n is even, then what we will print? We will print 1. Again next term will be previous term plus n by 2, and what will be the next term? Next term will be this value. Let's denote it with something term 2. This is p1 p2. What will the next term? Next term will be p2 minus n by 2 minus 1, and afterwards. And if n is odd, just reverse the order. N by 2 not n by 2, will print p1 p2 p3. p1 will be 1. What will the p2? 1 plus n by 2 plus 1, and next term will be p2. This is basically p1. You can say this p1, previous term. Yeah, p1 plus n by 2 plus 1, and next term will be p2 minus n by 2, and afterwards this will becomes p3 plus n by 2 plus 1. You can do this of yourself, but if n is 4, you will print this value, and if n is less than 4, you will print minus 1. If n is 4, you will print this value. If n is even, you will print this, and if n is odd, you will print this one, this series. And let's check the code. You can see the code here. I am basically checking if it is less than 4, minus 1 if it is equal to 4. I am printing this. If it is even, if this is even, I am starting with value equals to 1 and assigning a, which is difference between terms, a with n by 2 and b with a minus 1, which means n by 2 minus 1, which I stated here, n by 2 minus 1. Okay, and starting with because the permutation contains n terms, I am starting with I equals to 1 and running the loop till value of n and outputting value first time value and next time if I modulo 2, which means this is first term, second term, third term. If this is odd, this is even, odd, even. If it is odd, I am assigning it, I am adding a to the value, and if it is not odd, I am subtracting b from the value, and this is for even. And if the value of n is odd, I am just interchanging the value between a and b. Otherwise, all the things are same. And you can also print starting with I. Yeah, you can also do it in same loop without this 2 times. You can print the half sequence using I equals to 1 to n and incrementing it with I plus equals to 2, incrementing it with 2 times. Okay, you can do so. This is for if n is odd and if n is even. So hope you guys understand all these solutions, and if you really like this content, please consider subscribing this channel if you are new to this channel, and don't forget to like this video, and see you in next video. Thanks for watching.